Okay, I'm going to show you how to do, some clipping and so forth, and maybe a few other tricks. I'm going to bring up a file that I used yesterday. Let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and save this one first. Oh. Man, I wish I could. This recent places thing is just fucking useless. I don't know who the hell came up with this idea, but it sure as fuck doesn't work worth a crap. Recent places, my ass. I'll just save it natively. Okay. I can close that. But, let's say I wanted to chop this kid out. First thing you should always do, though, when you're, doing a new drawing is duplicate the layer and hide the original background. So that way you're always working on a copy. Okay, but when you're selecting stuff, first this, the move tool moves shit around. Okay, but it does have this kind of magnetic thing, and let's see, I forgot how I turned that on. You saw that kind of purple right there. Those are actually smart. Some kind of smart grid. I forgot how I turned it on. I wish I would have made these videos yesterday. Let's see. Transform. This is where you go scale your drawings and stuff, is in the transform right here. Of course, you can't see that. This is chopped off. But, there's like scale and rotate and straw skew and stuff like that here. But, let's see. Yeah, but I forgot how I turned that on. I don't think it was on select. Extras, that's how you turn. Rulers, that's how you turn the rulers thing on. That's got some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, it's here, smart guides. That's what it is. That's what I turned on. So anyway, but I was going to say, in rulers, if you come up here, you can bring a line to, so I could bring in another image and plop it in here. Let me shrink it. No matter if it's distorted, and see how it kind of magnetically aligns to these guides. So, anyway, that's kind of cool. And you can go move these guides too. But so I could add, I don't know if you can add more than one guide. I think CorelDRAW does this too, but I'm not sure. But see how, you know, I can align, you know, these two pictures, the base or there, or, you know, or center them, you know, the smart tool. But at any rate, that's kind of cool, and you can go, let's see, where was the clear? It sucks. Let's see. Son of a bitch. Man, I wish I would have made this video, because I'm trying to do this from memory, from some of the stuff I learned yesterday, because I just came up with the idea of making videos on this today. No, it's not there. Not there. Oh, well, hold on. Let me get out of that first. No, if you want to take, you know, these are on two separate layers, but if you want to take these two objects, you know, you can actually merge them, you know, into a single layer. That's one way of doing it. Now, if you want to undo something, you can press Control Z, but that'll only toggle back and forth. But if you press Control Alt Z, you know, that can undo it more than once. And Control Shift Z redoes it. So that's like redo. But at any rate, another thing you can do though is I can come down here. Let's see, I think it's this. Yeah, create new group. Okay, so I can take that and then put these layers in this group here, and close it, and then control the visibility of it like that. But now let me see if I can figure out how to turn that thing off. Let's see. Yeah, clear guides. So yeah, I can lock the guides. I can clear the guide. Let's see what new guide does. Okay, so yeah, I can do multiple guides, so that's cool. I wonder if I could do that. But let's just hit clear guides to get those out of the way. And a lot of times they're shortcut keys. Now, Control D is something you're going to want to, you know, definitely memorize, so you can, you know, if you select something, you know, Control D is deselect. You know, that's the fastest way to get rid of your selection sets. Okay, but anyway, I'd like to show you some of the tools. And of course, like I said, you know, if you right-click, or yeah, right-click on something, you know, you got your standard lasso, polymorphic, and magnetic tools. But the magnetic tools and all that really aren't that great. I mean, you know, from even the videos I've seen professionals use it, it's still kind of sloppy. If you got a quick select tool and a magic wand tool, I don't know what. Now to resize your brush, you know, you know, pressing the left and right bracket tool does that. Okay, yeah, I don't know what the click select's supposed to do, but anyway, regular lasso and tools up here and everything. God, I almost forgot where the ship was now. Oh, this ruler tool is kind of interesting. You know, it's not just good for measuring stuff, as you can see here. You know, you can see what the measurements are, but if you go hit straighten, you know, it automatically adjusts the image. That's kind of cool. God, I mean, I remember, you know, that's the thing I don't like about it is that, you know, some of these tools are not, I don't know, maybe I ought to go ahead and do it like that because that's what everybody else does. So it'll be, you know, the videos I'm watching, almost everybody does their thing that way. I prefer it single wide so it doesn't eat up more of my space than necessary, but come on, damn it. Slice tool. The healing brush, we covered that in another video, in one of the other videos. I know it's not the brush tool, I'm pretty sure. It's the history tool. I'll show you that in a little bit. Huh. I mean, I don't think it was that one. Jeez, I might have to go watch a video on this again. Like I said, I don't think it was this one, but it works like this. This is too sloppy. However this is working, it doesn't make sense. I actually went in with this very image and cut it, and that's why I decided I chose it. Huh. Yeah, this certainly isn't it. It's not working the same. Well, son of a bitch. When the brush tool. Oh, well maybe that's my problem. I'm working on the wrong layer. Maybe that's what's going on. I know I don't want the brush tool. Let me try it again. Shrinking this a little bit and see if that helps. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay. You know, sometimes, you know, it'll get you if you're not working on the right layer. That's apparently what was going on. It was on the wrong layer. But at any rate, you can grab a lot of this stuff. Okay, and I'm just going to show you. Ah, shit. I'm going to show you. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, if you press Alt, okay, you see the plus in there will turn to a minus in that circle. That means I can remove areas from the selection. And you zoom in. You can also set it permanently up there if you want. I'm not aware of of how to adjust the tolerance on it at all. Let's leave that the way it is. I don't know why the fuck it does that. Sometimes it'll start acting funny, beeping at you for some reason. I'm going to go through a complete edit here and just try to show you, how precise you can precisely you can, despite the fact this will be a little lengthy, to show you the techniques, that happen, because anyway, I mean, the point is, though, so I can go over here and, take some areas and, oops, set it to add mode, okay, because I can add, pieces like that, and I can even subtract from that, and then I can, do kind of a union, but I don't want to do that because that'll screw up my previous work. But I can go back, to all these tools and actually combine them. Oh, shit. God damn it. See, I can actually combine their effects, but let's go back to our brush tool, so I can get rid of this. See, that has done a pretty good job grabbing his ass. Let me go remove this part. But it does a pretty damn good job. Now, remember, I got the background turned off. Now I got to go invert the selection. Because I could try, grabbing him to begin with, but this is just the way I did it the first time. In theory, I wouldn't have to do this, but everything having to do with masks, the selection sets is here. The select deal. But I can invert it. Okay, now I'll grab him, but let's go try to refine the edge. So refine the edge, you can see what you're exactly selecting, and I can go and smooth it right here. You can see how that feathers it out. That's nice. And then I could, change the actual edge, by feathering it, and usually it doesn't require much. But like I said, that's a pretty damn solid graph right there. So, anyway, so I got that, and if I want to, I can go down here and do a new layer and paste his ass there. Okay, so that's what we grabbed right there. So that was pretty slick. Now, another cool thing you can do, working on the again, the background copy. Oh shit. go ahead and I'm doing this to restore my my selection set. But anyway, I can save the selection set as a channel down here, but you could also, you know, save it up here, which is how I first did it, save selection. But apparently you can also do it, you know, in the channels tab. So, you know, that's got him saved. So then I'll go and paste them back into our layer here, just like I had him. And I'll turn that sucker off. But at any rate, if you go back to the channels and hit this, see, that's the mask we used. Let's see, you know, create new channel, save selection as channel, but let's see, I forgot how to do this. Okay, that was it. You know, you press that, you know, that's the load selection. You can see in my history, you know, that's what happened, you know, that you know, so we got our mask back. So, you know, you can go back to the RGB, and that's got our selection set taken care of again. So, you know, whatever layer. So anyway, you know, I wanted to show you that you can do that. Now Control D removes the selection. So anyway, but let's see. Actually, I'm still trying to recall everything. Let me see. We're trying to remember how this works. See, this thing up here, you know, this adjustments. Basically, when you create something like, you know, hue, saturation, and brightness. Okay. Now I'm just going to show you, you know, a few of these, you know, so you can see how it works. Now, like I said, you know, when I click that, you know, it gives us this, and of course this is HSB, you know, just like Corel. So, you know, I can, you know, do something like that, right? Okay, but what it does is it creates it on a new layer. So, you know, that I made that adjustment, let me go and do another one. Let's see. You know, let's try brightness and contrast. Let's brighten up the image, but increase the contrast while we're at it. And let's go. I don't know what some of these do. They'll apply an inversion, so there's no options to set there. But what's cool about this is that you can set the opacity of this of any given effect that's selected. You know, right there. You know, you can set the opacity of that effect. So, you know, the more you reduce it, the less pronounced that effect is. But you can also turn these effects off, you know, so, you know, this would be really handy, you know, because that's the thing, you know, every time I make adjustments I always get paranoid about not being able to go back and change them, etc. But, you know, if you do it this way, you know, I can actually remove all the effects, you know, or just selectively, you know, put effects in there using the original image. And what else is kind of cool is, like, let's say we wanted to do you know, just copy this effect selectively. Now you can see that, you know, you got this little frame thing around here. This is actually a mask is what it is, and it's a white mask. But basically, while I got this thing selected, um, if you go and choose any brush tool, you know, you're actually working on a mask. I don't know if that'll show up over here or not. Yeah, it kind of does. So that's that mask. Um, you know, that's the mask we're working on right now that I got selected. But if you actually do anything that draws on this mask in black and white, you know, see our primary color is white right now, but if I change it to black, you know, I can go in with any brush tool and draw on it. And you see what it's doing? It's blocking out the effect of that you know, the effect of that filter or that layer on it. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, I could just, you know, since I'm painting on the mask and I'm painting on it in black, you know, it does that. But let's, you know, I can restore it by painting on it in white, and you can see what the mask looks like right here. So, you know, it's kind of cool, and I assume that you could, you know, I don't know that, yeah, it won't let you actually look at the mask, but, you know, like I can on this other thing, but almost seems like there was some way I could actually view the mask, but I can't remember what it is. But at any rate, it's kind of cool. Create new fill or adjustment layer. And layer style. You know, so you can add different, you know, this is mostly, I think, for text. I was watching that, and I think in a different video. But at any rate, that's kind of cool that you could do that. So, you know, these are all linked ostensibly to the original image here. I don't know that they are, but you know, but the point is that, you know, I can, you know, turn all these on again, and you can see what happens. So it's just kind of cool to be able to selectively do that, you know, and be able to turn it all off. So I assume I could put that in a, so I still don't know what all these things do yet, but I'm getting there. Let's see if I can put these in a, I'm probably really screwing things up on this, I don't know. Okay. Alright, so I can get rid of them that way. That way I can turn all the effects on or off into the, you know, collectively or individually still, you know, just by going into this group. I'm not quite sure if I screwed things up there or not. But at any rate, the fact of the matter is, you know, you get the idea that there's a lot you can do with those layers and those adjustments, and I don't know what this does. I added a mask. Fortunately, undo works with most mistakes you make on here. So I guess you can add more than one mask to it. That's interesting. I accidentally did that. I chose this, add vector mask. Yeah, I chose add vector mask accidentally. Anyway, what I was trying to do is go look at some of the masks we already created like this. And it gives you the ability to feather it and refine it. See, I can, you know how I wrote, drew that in black and white. Well, I can actually reduce that to, to make that less pronounced. And here you can change the feathering of it. So that's pretty cool. Because it's actually fairly sharp there. I don't know what this does. I can disable or enable it, throw it away, I can invert it. So, color range. Again, how sharp it is, really. So it gives you a preview of the actual mask. I'm kind of curious to see if I can see the actual mask on the screen, but cancel that. View. Okay, yeah, here we go. So I can actually I don't know what that does. Okay, this is you can adjust the edge and shift the edge. I don't know if I can actually paint on it. It won't really do anything. Yeah, I can't actually draw on it, but I can make adjustments here anyway. So anyway, it's just kind of cool, some of the stuff you can do. Okay, but one other thing I wanted to show you, and I did that, was this kind of interesting thing involving the history section, which, history normally you go up into Windows and, find it here, and you can, grab these tabs and pull them out and like stick them here, or just have them float, or sometimes, or whatnot. You got these like Corel Draw or this. I still don't know what these are, but this was kind of cool, but it's changed a little bit from how it originally was. That's why I'm not really. Oh, that's interesting. It seems to be just working grayscale. Oh, it's because I'm on the mask layer. That's what's going on. Yeah. So, like I said, this is kind of cool, so if you can, oh, if you right click, it brings this thing up, so, you can change your brush settings, and, change your hardness. Now, 0 is fuzzy, for a fuzzy brush, and, I assume, you can see here, the brush is hard, so you got a solid edge, but here it's fuzzy. You can set it somewhere in between, and change your brush shape, that kind of thing. If you do that, you get certain things like that over there. But so, you can do stuff like that, so that's kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that, I guess. Should have actually did that on a different layer. Let's see, there's a way. Depending on what control keys you press, because you can create layers below something, I believe. But okay, but anyway, that has that on a new layer, and I can select objects, that are on a layer, list like that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and say your selection set, remains applicable, so I could, for example, delete that off this layer, even though I created it off this layer. So, it's just whatever layer is selected. So, Control D to remove. Okay. Now, now I'm gonna, like I said, I'm sorry for stumbling around, but I'm trying to remember all this shit. Okay, but yeah, I wanted to show you, about this adjustment history thing. Now, basically, let me go and, go to Image, Adjustments, and let's, do Hue, Saturation, and Brightness. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to make that hat red, and that shirt's really nice and red. Okay, so I just did that, but I'm going to go push this little camera button, okay? Damn it. I'm going to push this little camera button. That took a snapshot. Okay, and I'm still, not exactly sure how this frickin' thing works. That's the original image. That's our snapshot. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, let me take a snapshot of the original image as it stands. Okay, so I've got this snapshot here, right? But and let me take another fucking snapshot while I'm at it. Okay, so I got these, this, and this. I'm going to try to use that one as my original. But let me go ahead and adjust that's kind of nice. Makes it nice and vibrant. It does work good. if it wasn't vibrant enough as it was. Fuck. Guess I need to make this stupid video window longer than this. Let's see. Let's go to posterize. Yeah, never mind. Gradient map. I don't know what that does. Oh, okay, fuck it. Okay. No. Alright. So I saved that, right? So we got our original image, right? Now let me... Now see, this is like a history brush tool, and you know, but you got two of them. This one's weird. I'm not exactly sure what it does. It's kind of strange. But this one, you know, it's just a normal history brush tool. Now, if I go over here, and you can see, you know, that's at these various points, you know, but I can choose, you know, like this one, but I want to work on this layer. Okay. This allows me to actually paint from that image that the brush is on to this image. You know, I could like change the feathering of it and so forth to make it a little if I can get fuzzier than that or not. But at any rate, you know, so I gave him kind of a reddish hat. You know, you can get real carried away with it, but you know, I just wanted to, you know, show you the idea. You know, so that's a pristine copy, as this is also a pristine copy. You know, but this, well, fuck. See, I'm not sure exactly how this thing works. I'm kind of confused. You know, because everything I just did just got lost for some reason. Oh, I know why. Because I'm working down here. That's what you know, because this is still a history of everything I've done. So, okay, that's what I was screwing up earlier, you know, when I was playing around with that first. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to this layer now, okay, and, you know, screw with this guy's hat, you know, so he's like radioactive, so you want to not be near him, okay. So basically, you know, I was able to write, you know, from those other two layers, you know, that I took a snapshot of by putting that history brush there, you know, I was able to write, you know, to the current layer. And I'm going to go to that artistic brush and show you. It's just kind of, you know, it's kind of bizarre. I don't even know what that's doing. It's an artistic history brush, so it's, you know, if you actually look at it, I think that, you know, I think it's, you know, using like the, shit, I don't know where that is. Yeah, you know, the brush, you know, the brush presets, you know, the brush dynamics, you know, it's obviously some special brush here because they set up the brush dynamics, which this is actually a cool little subject too. You know, this is the area that if you wanted to make a special brush, you can do it in. I'll see if I can remember how to do it. Let me go ahead and undo this. I'll leave those splotches there. Just okay. Um, okay, let's see. Trying to think of the best way to go around about this. Create a new layer. Okay. It doesn't matter what color you're creating a brush in, but let's say we wanted to do something like that. Okay, now just put that on that layer, right? Okay, so I'm going to go create another layer, because this is just how that video taught me, so I'm trying to remember that I watched yesterday. Fill white. Okay. Put this layer behind that. Okay. Now, if I go pull, I still can't remember. Let's see. Oh. Shit. Oh, if you press spacebar, that brings up the pan tool. But it's not working because I'm here. Press Control D. I don't know why isn't it working? Okay. Anyway, that's just spacebar brings up the pan tool when you hold in on it. Now let me close tab group, new brush preset. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Let's see. Oh. Ooh, let's see what the snot is going on. Oh, I'm sure I've got to select it. I don't know if I got to select it or not. And define brush preset. Okay, and then I'll purple. Again, the color doesn't matter, but okay. Now, if I recall correctly, I don't know. I mean, forgot how this works. Okay. Where's the brush at? Okay, now if I go... Huh, that's weird. Yeah, I must have done this. But see, I defined this one earlier, which appears to be screwed up now for some reason. It's not the same one. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay, Shit. I might have to bring the video up on this and watch it again. And what can you select the option? I don't know why I can't, it's like this thing's, I don't know, behaving kind of quirky. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because of all the stuff I have up or something, because I mean, Control A doesn't work. Still grab it as an object. But why can I select it? Anyway, I don't know, that's weird. I mean, for some reason I can't select anything on this layer. Let's see. I didn't think that I'd involve selecting it, but still, what bugs me is why can't I select anything? I mean, I don't even see the grayed out option to do it anymore. I'm confused already. Because, I mean, like I said, what if I wanted to select this? I mean, there should be a way of selecting all on layer, but that just selects everything everywhere. Man, I mean, I shouldn't have to go to those tools to select this again. I mean, I swear I was able, because I know you can do that. Oh, it's the mask, maybe. No? Oh, shit. The right fucking layer? God damn it. Okay. Anyway, let's see if this works. Define brush preset. Now you can see, what it's doing here. It's still not working. I mean, I don't know why. I'm just gonna have to go back and watch that video on it again because it's cool. I was gonna show you how to make brushes, but the fucked up thing is the brush I created earlier doesn't seem to work right anymore. I don't know why. Oh well, shit. No wonder. Hold on. Okay. Fine brush preset. Okay, that's right. That's what we want right there. That little. Okay. Now that I got that created, I can go and. Okay, so that's still not the right brush, but this is. So basically, let me go ahead and get rid of these two layers. Okay. I'm going to start a new layer. Okay. But basically, if I draw with this tool right now, and again, it works just like a brush. I can, increase and decrease the size of it. But, it's not too terribly interesting right now. But, if I go and bring up this brush dynamics thing right here, I can change certain properties of it. One of the things I can do is change the spacing, and you can see in the preview how it'll look. So that shows you how, what its fill frequency and density is. You can make it almost from a solid, down to, the sporadic. And this is just the size of the brush itself, I think. So I can flip it, how it fundamentally works. If you go to shape dynamics, I can, set the jitter, from being like that to all the way up, and this is what this does is it changes the size of it more or less. So, you keep that where it is. Angle jitter, that you can see what's going on there. That's changing the rotation of some of these things. And roundness, I guess controls how round it is. I'm not really sure. I shouldn't have shrunk it that much. So anyway, but basically if I draw like this now, you can see what's going on there. It makes it just kind of random. I use this to try to draw beards on that kid. But at any rate, you can see, go down to scattering, okay, and this is that's pretty cool. You can set pen pressure on it. And I'll just leave it off, but you can see what scattering does. If it, if I turned it on, with it off, it doesn't do that. But this controls how scattering, how scattered it is. So, that allows you to do this kind of thing. And there's another thing you can do too, but I forgot what it was. But it allows you to to actually make it so that it more follows your I don't know what that does. We didn't use that. Tool brush, that's interesting. Color dynamics. That means. Let me try some. Oh yeah, that's cool. So you can make it like different colors. That's what I thought it meant. So that's kind of cool. So if you turn color dynamics on, it does that. Transfer. I don't know what that was. I mean, I've still got that beard. Now I wonder if this brush preset is automatically saved or not. That could be why it's not working. Now, so you can create a new brush right there. Huh. Yeah, because it doesn't look like you can actually save these modifications. You would think that they'd be done in the actual brush, but I'm not getting that impression. It was like that hair one I created. I had all these presets done, and it seems to have vanished. So, I don't know. Maybe you have to do this every time you want to use it. But I thought you could actually save that as part of the preset. Because, I mean, that's kind of crazy if you can't even save this, you know, and apply it to any brush, potentially. But yeah, it doesn't look like you can save it. Okay, that saved it. Okay, so that's kind of confusing. But yeah, that saved it. So I've got the original brush here, you know, which just does that. And then I got this here too. But yeah, I should be able to say this is yet another brush preset. Okay, so now, you know, we got two of them. One of them is kind of colorful, and then the other is our original, which is monotonic. The kids are looking pretty festive. Anyway, okay, that pretty much covers it. I'm going to go ahead, that's a pretty long ass video.